All right. Today is June 4th, 2023. Going to take a look at the Yankees and where they are so far in this season. They have played 60 games so far this season with a record of 35 and 25. Let's put that up on the screen for you. So they are 35 and 25, winning percentage of 583, currently 6 games back of the Rays. Looks like they're 2 games back of the Orioles. Yankees have had chances to go ahead and catch those Rays. They just haven't been able to capitalize. Some of that is injuries. Some of that is just poor playing, and we'll get to that here in a few minutes. But what I want to take today is just to go through the individual players, give a grade or a ranking. I guess it'd be more of a grade for the Yankees. Give them a scorecard on each individual player as I see it, because this is the I Can Say It show. So I can say whatever I want, and this is the grades that I'm giving them so far. Right now, the Yankees as a team, I'm going to give them a grade of a C. So if I was to rank them right now, they'd be at a C based on their performance, which makes sense because they're third in the division. I do understand that the Yankees division is harder than most divisions, but that's no excuse. As a Yankees fan, I expect nothing less than a World Series. As crazy or as absurd as that may sound, Yankees need to win the World Series every year, and we haven't been close in quite a few years. So let's get started. Let's start going through individual players, individual where they are. Going to go ahead and get that taken off. First thing we're going to look at are the hitters. We're going to start off with, of course, Aaron Judge. So Aaron Judge, through 60 games, is batting .291. He's got an on-base percentage of .404 and a slugging percentage of .674. So he's batting .291, which is pretty good. He's got 19 home runs, 40 RBIs. He's struck out 63 times, and he's walked 35 times. To me, the strikeout rate needs to change. I mean, you really can't complain about Aaron Judge and the way he's played, but if I had to pick the one thing, it would be the strikeouts. And as the $360 million man, I think he needs to work on getting a little bit more base hits and less strikeouts. But he's got 3 stolen bases, and he's been caught stealing once. So if I was to grade Aaron Judge at this point of the year, based on his performance and everything else, I'm going to give him an A. That's a reluctant A. I was going off between a B and a B plus and an A, but right now I'm going to give Aaron Judge an A. That's his grade. Next, we're going to bring up Anthony Rizzo. So far, Anthony Rizzo through 60 games. He's played in 55 of them. He's got a batting average of .297. An on-base percentage of .367, and a slugging percentage of .491. I think the biggest thing for me is that slugging percentage is kind of low for what we would expect from Rizzo. He does have 11 home runs. He's got 56 strikeouts and 18 walks. He's not a speedster, so he's been caught stealing twice with no stolen bases. He's got 8 doubles. So I would like to see his slugging percentage go up, but he is what he is, and for what we expect from Aaron Rizzo. Oop, looks like I got DJ LeMahieu up in there, and I don't want DJ. I just want. There we go. Let's get back to Anthony Rizzo. So Anthony Rizzo, as far as I'm concerned, is a B plus. That's the grade I would give him, is a B plus. Now we're going to move on and take a look at Gleyber Torres. Now, Gleyber Torres, that's a whole other situation. I got a lot of stuff to say about Gleyber Torres. So, through 60 games, Torres has played 59 of the 60. He's batting .262. He's got a .336 on-base percentage and a .430 slugging percentage. He's stolen 5 bases and been caught stealing five times. So, the issues that I have with Gleyber Torres is, A, he's a horrible base runner, making bonehead moves, doesn't hustle down the line. There was an incident the other night, which possibly could have been safe at first, on a bobbled ball to the shortstop, and he made no effort whatsoever. That could have given. It doesn't mean the Yankees would have come back in that game, but he didn't even make an effort. His lack of effort, his ego is so big, he doesn't think he has to do certain things. The only reason why the Yankees keep him around is because he can hit. He's got 9 homers on the season. He's got a slugging percentage of .430. So he's not where we want him to be, but I think he's more of a liability than a plus. As a Yankees fan for my entire life, I definitely think Gleyber Torres is not worth the money we're spending on him. But also with injuries, they don't have much else they can do. If I'm going to give a grade to Gleyber Torres, he's getting a C. Gleyber Torres is a C in my world. Yep, so that's Gleyber Torres. Next, we're going to take a look at Anthony Volpe. So, Anthony Volpe, he's played in all 60 games. He had very limited time in the minors. I loved when they decided to bring him up based off of what he did in spring training. He came out of the gate looking really, really well, but he is struggling massively these last few weeks. His batting average is a 188. His on-base percentage is 264, and his slugging percentage is 346. I don't really care about his slugging percentage, and I think that's part of Anthony Volpe's problem, is he's trying to slug the ball instead of spray it all over the infield, spray it all over the outfield, and get on base. His job is to get on base, give guys like Rizzo, Torres, and Judge the opportunity to bring him home. It looks like he's up there swinging for home runs every time. His speed is his major asset. He's got 13 stolen bases. He's never been caught stealing. But he's got 71 strikeouts. Sorry, but a guy like Anthony Volpe, his job is to put the ball in play, not strike out. He's not there to hit home runs. The Yankees don't need him to hit home runs. They need him to get on base and move around the bases, keep the pitchers off keel, keep them off balance so that he can go ahead and make things happen, give opportunities to Rizzo and Judge and Torres and Donaldson and Stanton. He's got 8 home runs, which is a big plus. He's got 24 RBIs. But we need Anthony Volpe to step up. Anthony Volpe has shown himself to be a really good possibility long-term for the Yankees, but I think he's putting way too much pressure on himself. He thinks he's supposed to be this superstar in his first year in the big leagues instead of just focusing on hitting the ball, putting it in play, and letting the other guys that have been in the league a lot longer move them around the bases. So that's my thing on Anthony Volpe. So if I'm going to give Anthony Volpe a grade, there is no, he is new, but his grade right now is a C. Sorry, Anthony, but your grade's a C. You need to get better and get better quick. Just do your job. Now, along the same lines, we're going to take a look at DJ LeMahieu. So DJ LeMahieu has played in 52 of the 60 games. Oh, let's take a look here. He's batting .244, on-base percentage of .307, slugging percentage of .404. He has 6 home runs. The big issue for me is that .244 batting average. That's not what we expect from DJ LeMahieu. Again, he's another guy, like I was saying about Volpe, that he needs to get on base. His job is to get on base. If he gets a home run, great, but his job is to get on base, move guys around, knock guys in. He's not there to swing. He has 56 strikeouts. So out of 193 at-bats, he's got 56 strikeouts. He's only got 16 walks, which is a disappointment from what I expect from DJ LeMahieu. He's a guy that should be battling for the batting title every year, and batting .244, that's not going to happen for him this year unless he shows dramatic improvement. So again, he's another one. I'm going to give a C so far through 60 games for DJ LeMahieu. He's going to be graded as a C. I'd really like to see him improve, but we'll see what happens. Next, we have Harrison Bader. So Harrison Bader right now is batting .267. He's got an on-base percentage of .295. He's got 6 home runs. But the elephant in the room with Harrison Bader is he cannot stay off the DL. He is always on the disabled list. He's pulled a hamstring. He had the injury at the beginning of the season. He just can't stay healthy. So he's a phenomenal player, but he's no use if he's sitting there on the DL and not in the dugout, not in the lineup. So, excuse me, Harrison Bader needs to step it up. He needs to go ahead and he needs to get healthy. I'm not really sure. This seems to be a pandemic of the Yankees. They really need to look at what their conditioning regimen is, what they're doing to their players, because the injuries are just ridiculous over the last 3, 4, 5 years. And to me, that's the fault of the conditioning team and the way the organization runs. And I think they baby their players, so then when they go all out during the season, they get hurt. And Harrison Bader is a prime example of that. So Harrison Bader, unfortunately, due to his injuries, I'm going to put him at a D+, because he's not there when the Yankees need him, and he needs to step up and do better. Next, we have a surprise for the Yankees as far as I'm concerned. Didn't really know much about Jake Bauers, but Jake Bauers playing a lot of outfield for the Yankees. He's played in 26 games. He's batting 237 with a 347 on base percentage and a 542 slugging percentage. It's kind of what I would expect from an outfielder. He has 5 home runs. So he's done more than what I would have expected, especially since, like I said, I've never heard of Jake Bauers before. That's because I'm very focused on the Yankees individually. But he's been a pleasant surprise for the Yankees, so I'm happy about that. So basically, on what my expectations were and everything else, I'm going to give Jake Bauers a B. I think Jake has done more than probably what I would have expected, and he ends up with a B. Next, we're going to take a look at Kyle Higashioka, Higgy. So Higgy's a catcher. His whole job is to control the lineup. Control the pitchers, control the opposing lineup. He's batting 218 with an on-base percentage of 269, slugging percentage of 379. He has 3 home runs. So, I mean, Higgy is basically doing what we expect. I need him to be a workhorse behind the dish, being as the backup catcher to Trevino. He stepped up when Trevino was out with an injury, and every once in a while he can throw some home runs out there or have a really good game hitting. But he's doing everything I kind of expect of him. So for Higgy, for what I expect, he's a B+. Definitely fine in my book, doing exactly what I expect him to do. Obviously, I'd love to see him hit a little bit more singles, but he's there for defense, in my opinion. Next, we're going to take a look at Stanton. Stanton. Another one with the injury bug over the last several seasons. He's only played in 14 games. He's batting 273 with an on-base percentage of 310 and the slugging percentage of 600. He's got 5 home runs in 14 games. He came back and he hit a home run in his game back not yesterday, the day before. And that was nice to see. I think he went 1 for 4 with a home run. So it was nice to see him have his bat speed, his confidence, and everything else. So hopefully we will see some good things from him. He's definitely going to be playing a big role in the DH spot, some spots in the outfield, especially with the injuries. But Stanton is kind of doing what I expect Stanton to do. Is he doing what I expect as far as because of what we're paying him? No, but he's there to hit home runs. So if he can go ahead and hit home runs, that would be great. Because of his injuries and everything else, his grade is going to be a C+. Like to see some improvement from Stanton, but right now he is at a C+. Next, we're going to take a look at another one that just came off the DL, Josh Donaldson. I've been a big critic of Josh Donaldson over the last couple seasons he's been with the Yankees. He's not been what we expected. He's been overhyped. He stares at balls that he thinks are home runs, which are not home runs, and that costs bases and costs opportunities. Now, he did come back from the DL the other day, and he hit 2 home runs in that game. We'll see how he does going forward. I don't think he had a great game yesterday against the Dodgers, but we shall see how that all works out. I'd like to see Jonathan get back to the form that he was. He is a solid third baseman, so I'll give him that. Defensively, he's fine, but right now he's batting through 7 games that he's played. He's batting 167 with an on-base percentage of 200. Now, most of that is prior to him coming back off the injury, so let's see if he can have a much better remaining, 125 games left in the season. Because we're at 60 games right now, just about a third of the way through the season. Donaldson's goal right now is to get healthy, hit the ball hard, and play a solid, good third base. Hopefully he can do that. My grade for Donaldson, a lot of this is based off of what he's done over the last few seasons. He's right now a D+. He's got a long way to go before he will endear himself to me and probably many other Yankee fans. So I would like to see him improve. Next is another surprise, is Willie Calhoun. Willie Calhoun has been a very surprise for me. Again, another guy I knew nothing of. He's been playing some outfield, been playing some DH. He's batting 245 with a 314 on-base percentage. Not a great slugging percentage at 387. He's played in 34 of the 60 games. He's got 3 home runs. But I think he's a good player to have on the bench to bring up in pinch hit situations. He's been very surprising. I like his demeanor. I think it looks like he fits very well in the team. He understands his role. So based on what I expect of him or lack of expectations, I'm going to give Willie Calhoun a B. Willie Calhoun deserves a B in my book. If you disagree or agree with any of this, please leave them in the comments. But this is what these is just based off of me as a 50-year Yankee fan, pretty much, or I guess you say 45 because I probably didn't start watching until I was 5 years old. But next, we're going to take a look at our starting catcher, Jose Trevino. Trevino, similar to Higgy, kind of has one role: control the pitching staff, try to get on base when he can, just be a great defensive player. Right now, he's batting .210, got an on-base percentage of .259. I would like to see some more on base from him, maybe hitting some more singles. He's got 3 home runs. He's played in 34 out of the 60. He did have a stint there on the IL with I think he had a hamstring injury, but I'm going to give him some slack. I like Trevino. He's not putting up the numbers like he did last year, so it would be nice if we got to see him put up some numbers like he did last year. But overall, I'm happy with Trevino. Hopefully he continues. His grade so far through 60 games is a B in my book. That's where I put Trevino. Next, we're going to take a look at IKF, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Isaiah, he's been, derided by the Yankee fans, including myself, last season and the season before. So far this season, he's doing okay. He's only batting .220. Again, he's another guy that needs to put the ball in play. But the Yankees have needed him. He's transitioned to the outfield very, very well. So he gives them a great opportunity to, as a utility guy to fill in, especially with all the injuries. He's only batting .220. He's played in 45 out of the 60 games. His on-base percentage is .262. That's where I think he needs to improve greatly. His job is to get on base. He's got speed. He can steal bases. He's stolen 5 and caught twice. So we need him to do better on that. I would like to see him on base a lot more often, but I think he's understanding his role, especially with Volpe coming in, taking the shortstop position. You got Donaldson back at third. You also got LeMahieu can play third. So I think IKF understands his role is going to be playing utility and playing in the outfield when needed. So overall, based on everything the last few seasons, I'm going to give a C+ to IKF. IKF gets a C+ in my book. 60 games into the season, I would like to see him do a little bit better, but we shall see as we go on. We got 125 games left. And the last one we're going to take a look at is Oswaldo Cabrera. Cabrera came on the scene last season with high hopes for him and what he can do for the Yankee team. I think he is similar to Volpe. He's young. He's trying to do too much. Cabrera currently has a batting average of .200, which is unacceptable. And even worse, his on-base percentage is .250. Another guy that I think is trying to hit home runs instead of getting on base. Hit hard line drives, get on base, and let the other guys move you around. Use your speed. He's got 5 stolen bases, never been caught. He's got 4 home runs. And he just went down to AAA for a couple games. Then he came back when Allen got hurt, and first game back he hits a home run. Kind of like a statement, I think, from him, like, hey, I deserve to be here. But just remember, Cabrera, we're not looking at you to hit home runs. In my opinion, the Yankees fans want you to get on base. Let Judge, Stanton, Rizzo, Torres, and Donaldson hit the home runs to get you in, but get on base because that .250 on-base percentage is not working for me. So far this season, he is going to be another one that's going to be a C. I think he could do better if he understands his role, and I don't think he truly understands his role right now. So I'd like to see him do better in his role of getting on base, making a great opportunity for other players to hit, move him around, hit home runs, that sort of thing. So Cabrera, you could do better. I'm going to take a look at the pitchers now. We're going to start off with our ace, the multi-million-dollar man, Garrett Cole. So let's take a look at where he is. I'm going to switch over here to pitching. Garrett Cole has a 2.82 ERA. He's been in 13 games. He's a 7-0. Which at 13 games I would have liked to seen him do better. Looks like my camera. So Garrett Cole is at a 2.82 ERA. He's pitched in 13 games. He has 84 strikeouts. He's let up 16 hits, given up 27 runs, 25 of them earned runs, and he's given up 8 home runs. So in 13 games, he's given up 8. He's hit 3 batters. He's 28 walks. He's got a 1.13 whip, and the batting average against is 213. So he's kind of doing what we expect, but I think there's a lot of us out here that would want to even see more from him. The grade for Garrett Cole, in my book, based on everything so far this season, I'm going to give him a B, possibly even a B plus, somewhere in that range for me. I would like to see a little bit more consistency out of him. He, unfortunately, for whatever reason, when he pitches, he doesn't always get the solid defense behind him, and some bonehead plays get made, which seems to rattle Cole. And he doesn't take it very well, at least in the next batter or two after. So the defense needs to strengthen up behind him, give him better opportunities, as well as the offense giving him more runs. But that's where he's at. Next, we're going to take a look at Nasty Nestor, Nestor Cortez. Nestor Cortez is currently with an ERA of 5.16. He's pitched in 11 games. He has 59 strikeouts and 19 walks. He has given up 10 home runs. That's a problem in 11. He's basically almost 1 home run a game he's given up. He's only walked 19, and struck out 59, but that's 10 home runs is a problem. He's got 35 runs against, 34 of them have been earned. That's more than Cole in 2 less games. So I know Nasty Nestor had a string there where he was pitching horrible. He seems to be doing better as of late, hopefully getting back into the form that we all want him to be at, the way we wanted him to be. We saw him last year. I'm sure the league is figuring him out a little bit. But overall, Nasty Nestor needs to do a little bit better, but I'm going to give him a B just because I like Nasty Nestor, and I think he's got a lot of potential as long as he finds it out, as long as he figures it out. Next, we're going to take a look at Clark Schmidt, which Schmidt has he's 2-5, 2 wins, 5 losses. He's pitched in 12 games. He has 65 strikeouts, 19 walks, which isn't bad. He's let up 8 home runs, just like Cole did in 1 less game than Cole. He's got the 19 walks, not too bad, but he just seems to give up a lot of earned runs. He's given up 36 runs, 31 of them been earned. That means the defense isn't necessarily helping him out much. But he's an okay. He's, in my book, a 3, maybe even a 4th starter, probably closer to a 4th starter until he finds some consistency. It looks like he had a couple better outings his last 2 games. So that wasn't too bad. But overall, Clark Schmidt needs to step it up a little bit, and I'm going to give him a C+. That's his grade so far through 60 games. He is a C+ player. Next, we're going to take a look at Domingo Germán. Domingo Germán has a 3.9 ERA. He's got 53 strikeouts, 18 walks. He's given up 8 home runs. The Yankees are definitely giving up home runs this season with their starters. Domingo, to me, is our 3rd starter. The big issue with him has been his consistency. There's been the 10-game suspension for shit on his glove and using sticky stuff. I don't know all the details and if it was really just the cheating situation or just too much rosin, but he can't let that happen. That 10-game suspension was a problem for the Yankees because he's suspended and they can't bring up another pitcher to replace him. So he needs to do better. Again, 3.98 ERA. He has pitched in 10 games with the 8 home runs, so he's given up a lot of home runs. I'd like to see a better situation there. Domingo Germán is going to get a C from me because he needs to improve. He needs to be who we need him to be. The Yankees need a solid rotation if we're going to have any chance in the playoffs, and Germán needs to be a part of that. After Germán, now we're going to look at Luis Severino. Severino, just coming back from the IL, hasn't pitched much. He got completely clobbered the other night in the first inning against the Dodgers. I mean, he didn't look like he had anything. I don't know if it's lack of, games on rehab games or what, but he just got absolutely destroyed by the Dodgers. It was probably, in my opinion, a poor choice to put him in the first game against the Dodgers. Giving up 5 runs in that first inning, 2 home runs. With another home run later, To me, Boone kept him into the second and third inning and the fourth inning, I believe, and that was a mistake. He gave up 2 more runs, which the Yankees were trying to mount a comeback, but every time they would mount any sort of a comeback or get some runs back, he would just give them back up again. They ended up losing that game. Severino needs to step it up. He needs to stay off the IL, and he needs to just show up and be better. So right now, from him, Severino, due to injuries and the way you did against against the Dodgers, you're a D plus, and you have a lot of work to do if you're going to get any better. So that's where I feel about Severino. Michael King. 1.65 ERA. He's got 38 strikeouts, and when he's a reliever, so in 32.2 innings pitched, he's got 38 strikeouts, so it's slightly more than 1 strikeout an inning. He's only given up 1 home run. He's walked 10. I'd like to see that a little bit lower. The batting average against is 207. He's been in 19 total games with that 32.2 innings. I have no issues with Michael King. I think he's had 1 or 2 off games where he's come in, but overall, I'm happy with Michael King. And Michael King, in my book, is a B+, doing what the Yankees expect him to do and doing a fine job at it. So good job, Michael King. Now we're going to bring up Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes is at a 2.96 ERA. He's pitched 24.1 innings. He has struck out 30, given up 11 walks. He's got a 228 batting average against. He has not given up a home run, which is good. His ERA, I'd like to see get down. He's given up 8 earned runs in 24.1 innings. Overall, not too bad. But I would like to see Clay Holmes do a little bit better. The Yankees don't have a clear closer, so Holmes and King are battling for that spot, in my opinion. And overall, I think Clay Holmes is going to get a B. I think that's what he deserves. He very easily could be in the A+ range by the end of the season if he continues to work, continues to grind. When you see him coming out of the bullpen, you're not freaking out. So that's a good sign for Yankees fans. Next, we have Ron Marinaccio. Marinaccio has a 4.0 ERA. He's pitched in 27 innings. He's let up 3 home runs. That's a problem. He's got 34 strikeouts, so he's well above over 1 strikeout per inning. He's also walked 13, so it's a half a strikeout an inning or so. I'd like to see the walks come out a little bit better. He has hit 4 batters, so maybe there's been a slight bit of control issues. In 27 innings, he's let up 14 runs, 12 of them earned, so he is giving up hits, and that needs to change. I like Marinaccio. I don't freak out when he comes into the game, but I do get a little worried. So, Ron, you're up there at a C+ as far as I'm concerned so far through 60 games this season. Next, we have Jimmy Cordero. Cordero didn't know much about prior to the Yankees. He's pitched in 23.1 innings so far. His ERA is a 3.47. Let's see, he's led up 1 home run. He's got 24 strikeouts and 6 walks. His batting average against is 200. He's given up 9 earned runs. So I have no issues with Cordero. He's not one that I'm like, whoa, I'm not like, wow, we got Cordero. And I'm like, all right, he's all right in the bullpen. I'll take him. Would like to see him be a little bit more consistent. But for what I expect, Cordero gets a B in my book. So just keep grinding, Cordero. Let's see where it goes. Then we have Albert Abreu. Abreu has done a pretty decent job. Let's see what his numbers are, if I can find him here on the list. Abreu is at a 3.45 ERA. He has 29 strikeouts. He's got a high walks of 17 walks in 28.2 innings. He has 11 earned runs, giving up 14 total. So he is giving up some runs, so he needs to be a little bit more, throwing more strikeouts or getting guys to hit more pop flies or weak ground balls. But Abreu is kind of similar to Cordero, is kind of doing what I expect. But I think he needs to do slightly better, so I have him at a C+. Through 60 games, he's at a C+. And the final pitcher we're going to take a look at is Wandy Peralta. Peralta I like him. I like his demeanor. I like him on the mound. Doesn't seem to get rattled. He did get hit pretty hard the other night against the Dodgers. He's got a 3.0 ERA. He's got 24 strikeouts, too many walks, 14 in my opinion. He's given up 2 home runs. He's pitched 24 innings. So he's not giving up the home run, but he has given up 8 runs in 24 innings. So I would like to see him do a little bit better, but I like his demeanor. I think there's a possibility he could become the closer if he can just become more consistent. I think that would be because he's so not rattled. And overall for the season, I'm going to give Peralta a B. All right, so that's where I see so far. 60 games into the Yankee season. The Yankees are in third place, 35-25. They have a winning percentage of .583, currently 6 games back of the Rays. They need to do a better job. They need to get that going. I mean, they dug themselves a hole in the beginning of the season. I'm hoping with Stanton and Donaldson back that they will start to do better. We have Canely that's now back in the bullpen, which is a huge plus. He had a good outing on his first inning. He came back in. He gave up a double and a walk, but he also struck out a couple and didn't let up any runs. So that was good to see Canely back. So I'm hoping for a positive season. My biggest issue with the Yankees is I'm not sure they're even a playoff team right now. Even if they make it, the way the Yankees have struggled the last few years in the playoffs, and it's my opinion, is because we face better pitching in the playoffs, and the Yankees can't handle good pitching. They struggle handedly, as you saw with Kershaw. Kershaw was on a couple games where he didn't pitch well. It came with the Yankees, and the Dodgers gave him a 5-run lead, and the Yankees tried to battle back but just couldn't. And I think the Yankees struggle overall with good hitting. And I think it's because the Yankees' philosophy of hitting home runs and only relying on the home run is very, very poor. We have the speed with IKF, with Cabrera, with Volpe, with a couple other guys. Allen, when he's back and healthy, can run the bases. We need to play a little bit more small ball. We need to do more hit and runs. We need to get guys focused on getting on base and allowing your Judge, your Stanton, your Donaldson, your Torres, and your Rizzo to hit the home runs. That's what I think. Defensively, I think the Yankees have done fine overall. Volpe's had a bumpy road the last week or so. I think that's because his lack of hitting is affecting his fielding, and he's trying to make up for it. I like Volpe. I think Volpe will stay a long time with the Yankees. And I have to remind myself that Derek Jeter was horrible when he came up as the Yankees. He made a lot of errors. So I'm giving Volpe, he's a young guy, didn't have much time in the minors, and I know Aaron Judge is kind of taking him under his wing, but hopefully that's only to boast his confidence, not to teach him how to hit home runs, because I don't want Volpe to hit home runs. I want Volpe to hit doubles and get on walks and get singles and then steal bases, make things happen on the base paths. So that's my assessment for the Yankees overall. For the season, I'm going to give the Yankees a C+. That's where I think they're at. They're at a C+ for the season, and I'd like to see a lot more going on. I'm a diehard Yankees fan, and I'd like to see the Yankees improve. And that's what I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. This is I Can Say It.